Hello everybody, it is me Tokkuri Yashi, your family friend. How's everybody doing? Today we are taking on the EX6 boss, and as you can see we can take advantage of the elemental type boosts that we have got newly added to the game, which might make this a little bit easier. He also has got modes that he cycles through. The first mode there you should use a magical team for. The second mode you should use a physical team. The third mode you should use an AOE team. The fourth mode, he has got high defense but low damage, so maybe you want to skip that one. And the fifth, you maybe want to try to avoid because he gets a little bit angry. Anyway, for this first fight here, we're using this magical team. This is a pretty standard magical team that I've seen in many places for this dungeon boss. I did have to borrow the New Year's Nenica because I don't have it. I'm glad that was there on the friends list to be able to run this team. Now I'm finally only just being able to put the time into trying to beat this boss. Maybe we could have done it a little bit sooner, but it's a good time to be getting on and doing this because we will be getting the EX7 boss in April. That'll give me a month to be able to skip the dungeon before we get the new EX boss. Now, some people may be able to beat this in 4 or 5 teams. I think that it's probably going to take me a bit longer, a few more teams than that. When he first came out, it was probably 8, 9, 10 teams you maybe had to use to beat him. So we will skip forward to the end of this battle and we will see how this team has done. Okay, so we are coming to the end of this battle. We didn't have any elemental boost with this team actually, but I don't think that has been too much of a problem. We are doing quite a decent amount of damage here, and by the end of the battle we get to about 105 million damage there, if you manage to catch that, before Domo desu comes and eats us all. So that was mode 1 with the first magical team. Let's jump over then to the second fight. Okay, so let's jump into the second fight, and as you can see he has switched his mode. He is now on a physical team mode. I guess his physical defense is a bit lower on this mode. We are going to pick this team here. These teams are not set in stone. If you want to experiment, probably put in some other characters that are similar. If you need to try to do this, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. We have got Eris now finally to be able to use this, which will make this a lot easier. Maybe help us out with some of our team builds. As you can see here, we've got a bit of a dark boost to the team with 3 dark characters here, and we've got Shiori and my Suzuna there. The student Suzuna is only at 3-star. I think this should be enough to do the job. So let's jump to the end of battle and we will see how they've done. Okay, we are at the end of the battle here with this team, and it looks like this team did around about 80 million damage, which is not bad. 2 teams, we've already taken down quite a substantial chunk of this Poseidon boss's health. And there comes desu again to take us out. Domo desu, and there we go. You can see here that Shiori did do more damage there even with the dark physical boost. So let's jump over to the third fight. Okay, so we will jump into the third fight, and as you can see his mode has switched again. This is the AOE mode, so you want AOE multi-target damage dealers. So this is the team we're going to go for. I have seen this team comp instead of Ray, Princess Ray there, it had New Year Sheffy. I don't have New Year Sheffy, so we've had to make some adjustments. As I said, these teams are not set in stone. I did consider maybe using the Halloween Mimi. She was another AOE that sits behind Makoto that did have a bit of buffs for the team, but she wasn't built. So in the end, I went for Princess Ray. She doesn't really help buff the team, but she does do quite a bit of damage. So this team should do pretty well. Let's jump to the end and see how it did. So we are coming to the end of this third fight, and we have done about 100 million damage there, with a combination of wind and light buffs. That's maybe a good reason why we should use Ray there. And here comes Domo Desu to take us out again. But not bad, 3 fights and we have done quite a substantial amount of damage. Let's move over to the 4th mode. Okay, so time to jump into mode 4. Now, mode 4 is a mode where the Poseidon boss is very tanky, but he doesn't do a lot of damage to you. So maybe it's better to use your brains here. Instead of putting in one of your high damaging compositions, which will end up not doing quite as much because of his defense, send in somebody just to skip this mode. We're going to use Pecorine here. We need to use somebody who is tanky enough to get right to the end, where we get Domo Desu and run down the clock. Otherwise he won't switch his mode. If you put somebody in and they die before the time is up, then he won't switch his mode. So now, Oscarus Samares Pecorine-chan, she did a very good job there of skipping that mode for us. So now we can go in and we will see he has gone back to mode 1. Now mode 1, again, we're going to need a magical team for that one. So let's pick our magic team here. We're going to have a combination of light and dark for this magical team. And hopefully now we can do more damage to him because his defense will have gone down a bit. In fact, his magical defense should have gone down quite a lot, which is why we are using a magical team here. So let's jump to the end and we will have a look at how much damage this magical team has done. Okay, we are coming to the end of this fight here, which is technically our 5th fight, and we have only done about 50 million damage before we get the shark coming to take us all out. Not too bad, we are still doing okay. So let's have a little look at our next battle then, this will be battle number 6. Okay, we've seen him in. Okay, so let's jump into our next fight. As you can see, he's rotated again, so we need a physical team. We shall use this one here. The composition I did see did have the Summer Yukari as the tank. I don't have Summer Yukari, so we had to find someone else. As you can see, I went there for the Christmas June because she's also on the light attribute, which gives a good light buff there to Jita and to the Liberator Muimi. Perhaps you could maybe use somebody like Summer Shizaru. She's a AOE tank that buffs the team a little bit. Might have been a good choice there. She's on the water team though, so that would have maybe dropped the attribute boost a little bit. Also for this team, I had to make sure that my Liberator Muimi was limit broken, or at least had enough hit points to survive, because there were points where she was getting taken out, so we did have to give her a little bit of a buff just to make sure she survives. So if you're having problems, make sure that you maybe upped the unique equipment, limit broken characters, make sure they have enough hit points to survive the boss, and then these compositions can work. We are coming close to the end on this one already, so I guess there's no real need to skip it. It's doing quite good, but as you can see, we're now under 100 million. So maybe we have made things more difficult for ourselves than we needed to. So this team, by the time we get to the shark, to Domo Desu, it's about 75 million damage that we have done there. Not too bad at all. The boss is nearly down, so let's jump over to the next fight. Well, we'll have a look. We'll have a look what damage they did there. We see Liberator Muimi doing the most. Let's jump over to the next fight. Okay, so now to the next fight, and as you can see, he's now gone to mode 5. The mode where it gets really angry, and you probably want to try and avoid. If you can get to a point where you're just over 100 million hit points left, and then take him out in one with a team that can do 100 million damage, that is probably the best strategy. So what we have had to go and do is turtle up here, because he does do quite a bit of damage. The strategy I've gone for is just, like I said, turtle up. Characters, lots of healing characters, characters with damage nullification barriers and then 1 DPS to see if we can actually just take out this last less than 100 million now. You can see we're down to nearly 60 million damage left on him. If we can just eke this last little bit out in turtle mode, we should be good. So let's jump to the end of this battle and see how this team did. Okay, so we are back, and as we can see, Misato, boom, oh no, Misato gets taken out, but we're right near the end of the battle. We've done quite a decent amount of damage with this team, turtling up with just the 1 DPS, and we're going to leave the fight with about 27 million damage left on the boss. Domo desu takes us out. So let's have a look at how much damage Shizuru and Reno did, because they're obviously going to be the highest DPS on that team, and we will come back and see if we can take him out. Okay, so we are back, and as you can see, he stays in mode 5. Now, when he is underneath the 100 million hit points left, he will not be rotating back to any of the others. We have got these 2 teams left. I have built both turtle teams with as much healing and damage notification barriers as I can. We will see how well we can do. Perhaps this team will be able to take him out on his own. If not, we have got this other team. Surely both of those 2 teams will be able to take out the boss with this smallish amount of remaining hit points left. Oof, that's a close one there. Guess another thing to look for is you want characters in this mode as well that have got high bulk. If they have a 6-star, especially this Suzuna here with her unique equipment 2 as well, that high bulk will certainly help to keep your team alive. As long as you're alive, you can keep doing damage to him. We'll go, no, there, Liberating Nozomi has gone, and surely we can take him out now with this last team. We've only got a small amount of hit points left. And no, everyone is taken out there with 25 seconds to go. We didn't even get to the shark. Well, that's not too much of a problem, because we have got our one last team to go. When you are in trouble, call on Yui. It's I always find it a little bit OCD to have 2 of the same character in one team, but we want to beat this guy, so we're going to go with this 2 Yui team. We've really got a tiny little bit of hit points left on here. We've got some Chica, we've got some Yui that have got damage nullification barriers and healing. The Astral Yui also has a damage nullification barrier, so surely between her and Kuka we can take out the boss. And there we go! Yay! Finally, we have beaten the EX6 boss. Thank you very much, Yui, and the rest of you, everybody that managed to get this battle beaten. Hey! And again, the Astral Yui did most of the damage, even more than the Kuka. The Kyoka. Bah! Anyway, there we go. We have finally beaten him. We have got this piece of guild house equipment that gave us some stamina. So let's go over and put it into our guild house. So there we go. You can see EX6 beaten just in time for EX7, which will be coming out in April. We have 1 month of skipping dungeon. So let's put this piece of equipment into our guild house. This will give us some more stamina over time. If you haven't beaten the EX6 boss yet, and maybe this video was helpful, let me know how you did. If you want to try some of these teams, if you can build them. If you have already beaten the EX boss, then brilliant. Let me know how you did when you beat your EX6 boss. I am Tokkuri Yashi, your palm tree friend. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again for another video. Bye 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 bye.